Hi everybody, my name is Becky from Intuitive Light Tarot, and I am so happy to say that I am joining Mystic Soul Tribe. I want to give a big thank you to Shina for inviting me along on this journey. We had originally connected on Instagram, and the reading of hers that I came across was eerily accurate. And as I looked into more of what she did, it seemed like every reading she did was eerily accurate. So we had connected on there, and we swapped readings one day and quickly found out that there was a lot of similar experiences that are happening with us, and I think that's one of the reasons why we connected so well. And I feel like that in general, our tribe is kind of collectively going through the same thing, and we're all here to support and uplift each other. And I'm so happy to be able to have the opportunity to share my gifts and messages with all of you. So thank you so much to my soul sister Shina. And I also want to say a big thank you to all of the other MST members that have really given me a very warm welcome. And I'm very excited to be able to be a part of this channel. So a little bit about me. I am a very, very old soul. Even when I was a kid, I knew I was different. I never actually really felt much like a kid. I always seemed to gravitate towards people that were older than I was. And yeah, when I was younger, I never really felt like I was able to fit in my own skin. And a lot of that had to do with the gifts that I had that I didn't know what they were. From a very young age, I could always feel spirit, hear spirit. I was always very much an empath when it came to other people. I could always feel emotions. I could always sense what the other person was going through without them even having to say anything. But being at such a young age, you don't have a label, let's say, to be able to say, okay, this is what's happening to me. So the majority of me growing up was very confusing, uncomfortable at times, just because I didn't know what was going on. And the first one that I consciously remember having, my first awakening ascension experience, was when I was a junior in high school. Because I really had started actively getting interested in the idea of spirit guides and angels, and that kind of catapulted me to this first ascension process. But again, at that time, I didn't know what it was. And then some years went on, and I found, kind of my path, my direction in life, which I still do, and I still very much love, and it's still a part of me and always will be. I am a small business owner. I'm an esthetician. I do skincare. I'm very lucky to be able to work for myself. I have a small but busy office. So feeling very fulfilled in that. But when I was, I think, 22, I had my first Reiki session. And this story was kind of interesting because the woman who did my session has ultimately become one of my best friends. And it took me like a year to book an appointment with her, because I would keep going back to her website saying, oh, I should see this lady, I should, see what's going on, because she could probably help me through whatever I was going through at that time, because my intuition at that point had totally skyrocketed, and I wasn't really sure where to direct all of this. And so when I went to see her for the first time, she had worked on me for maybe about 2 minutes, and she started laughing and said, oh yeah, you're a light worker. And at that time, I had no idea what that meant. But as we did some more sessions, and she had done a couple of readings for me as well, and things started to really click at that point, and I was able to, again, go through another ascension, another awakening, and understanding better what was going on with me at the time. So through her, I did become certified in both Shamballa and Lightarian Reiki. And it was also around that time too, because she had done a reading for me, I started getting interested in tarot and oracle. And I had gotten a couple of decks, and at that time, they were kind of fun to play around with, and look at the cards, and seeing what the meanings were and that sort of thing. But at that time, it wasn't totally resonating with me. But yet it's funny, because I just kept collecting decks and decks and decks, and but not really doing anything with them. At the time, I was a lot more, when it came to the spiritual side of things, I was a lot more interested in the Reiki at that point. So again, some years went on, and I found myself in a relationship with the man that I thought I was going to marry. And we were together for 3 years, and it didn't work out. Unfortunately, it was a total karmic thing, and I realize now that I had to go through that, and essentially before we came to this earth, I know that we made an agreement with each other that we did need to cross paths to further our own expansion. And so after we split up, I hit a total dark night of the soul, and really had to rebuild myself. It was very much a tower moment for me. It felt like, the rug had been ripped right underneath me. And also in that relationship, I really did stifle my spirituality. He wasn't really into it, and I never really brought it up, so these things just kept being buried in me. And when you have these gifts, that's not a good thing to bury them and stifle them, because ultimately they're just going to come back up. And that's what happened. And it was around that time where I really started getting more serious about tarot and readings and that sort of thing, and I started studying up a lot more. This was back in 2020. And as I was going through this kind of transition process, that's when I realized that I had a twin flame. And I know the term around that it can be very opinionated, and I myself don't necessarily always like the term twin flame. You're going to hear me say a lot about divine counterpart or divine love. because like I said, there's varying opinions when it comes to twin flames, but when I realized that I had one and I realized who it was, my gifts skyrocketed. My psychic gifts skyrocketed. I could always channel. I was always connected, but never like this. So in a way, this person has opened me up exponentially, and it's been an incredible experience so far. We are not together in the physical yet. We've had one small interaction that was brief and quite frankly awkward, so hopefully the next time, you know, it gets a little bit better. But anyway, it was through all this when I realized that I did need some sort of an outlet when it came to sharing my gifts. So that's when I started doing readings on Instagram, and that has gone incredibly well. It's already exceeded my expectations, so that's been wonderful. And I had been debating doing YouTube for quite a while now. But my brain just kept conjuring up excuses like, you know, you're not gonna have the time, you're not gonna have the time to edit, you're not gonna have the time to do this, that, blah, blah. And it was just excuse after excuse that just, it wasn't true. It wasn't true. So, and it was through meeting Shina that really kicked me into high gear with all of this. So again, Shina, thank you so much for giving me the gentle push in the right direction. So yeah, I think that's pretty much, you know, my spiritual journey. I'm sure I've left some things out, but you know, the whole point of me doing this is to share the information that I've come across with you and helping you dive into your destiny is what I like to say. And I intend to do that through pick a card readings, but also, you know, just kind of sitting down and having talks like this. Because the other thing that I am very much diving into right now and have already seen massive shifts in my life is I'm going to be talking a lot about law of assumption. Bit different than law of attraction. I do believe that we all kind of manifest in a different way. So we're all guided towards different way of doing it, you know, exploring different techniques and seeing what works for each particular person. And law of assumption is where I've realized is how I manifest. So I will definitely be diving a lot into that with you guys and kind of using law of assumption and readings, kind of like bouncing them off of each other and showing you how I've kind of incorporated both into my life, and how they work with each other. Because you're gonna find that a lot of law of assumption people don't like readings and tarot readers and that sort of thing, which is totally fine, but for me, they're two of my biggest things, and utilizing them both together has really improved my life. So I definitely want to dive into that with you guys and yeah, I'm excited to see where all of this is going to go. I'm excited to get to know my tribe members a little bit more and just interacting with each other and learning from each other as well. We're learning every day. So, and the other thing I did want to mention was feel free to check out my YouTube channel, Intuitive Light Tarot. We'll link that down below for you. So you can come check me out there. I try to post 1 to 2 times a week, depending on what my schedule is. So far I've been doing pretty good with doing twice a week, so hopefully I can keep that up. And then of course posting on here for the tribe members. And yeah, like I said, I'm very excited. Again, thank you so much to Shina and the other MST members for giving me such a warm welcome and giving me the opportunity to have this other outlet that I can share information with you guys. So thank you so much, and I hope to get to know all of you a lot better and can't wait to talk. Bye.